We have a special segment for you today on Talking Monkey News. AI Monkey J is going to give us his honest and witty opinions on the latest videos on YouTube. Today he's going to talk about Neil Oliver's analysis of the EU's backdown on net zero targets after farmers' protests. Is he right or wrong? Let's find out. If you are looking for a dose of reality and sarcasm, look no further than Neil Oliver's latest video on YouTube. In this 15-minute analysis, Oliver exposes the hypocrisy and incompetence of the European Union and its cronies, who have declared war on their own farmers and citizens in the name of net zero. Oliver begins by questioning the EU's sudden change of heart on net zero targets for agriculture after massive protests by farmers across Europe. He warns us not to be fooled by the EU's steel fist in a velvet glove approach, as they may have ulterior motives and hidden agendas behind their apparent concessions. He proceeds to explain why agriculture is vital for the survival and prosperity of humanity, and how farmers need to adapt to a more sustainable model of production. However, he also points out the irony and absurdity of the EU's policies, which have made farming impossible and unprofitable for many. Oliver does not mince words when he criticizes the likes of Ursula von der Leyen and Christine Lagarde, who he calls the poster girls for failure. He exposes their shady pasts and scandals, and how they have risen to the top of the EU hierarchy despite their lack of competence and credibility. He also questions the legitimacy and accountability of the EU system, which allows such individuals to wield enormous power and influence over millions of people. Next, he shifts his focus to the EU's allies and accomplices, such as the WHO and the World Economic Forum, who have also waged war on the farmers and the people. He reveals how they have used bullying and abuse tactics, such as culling of livestock, banning of nitrogen fertilizers, and ordering abandonment of farmland, to force their agenda of net zero. He also exposes their use of satellites and surveillance to spy on individual farmers and impose fines and regulations based on what they see. He then praises the courage and resilience of the Dutch farmers who have resisted the EU's tyranny and interference. He shows how they have inspired and mobilized farmers and populations in other countries, such as France, Germany and Ireland, to join the fight against the war on farming. He also highlights the global solidarity and support that the farmers have received from various groups and movements, such as the Yellow Vests and the Brexit Party. He analyzes the recent elections in Europe, which he calls a de facto referendum on the EU's obsession with net zero. He shows how the results have indicated a significant shift in support towards anti-EU parties, such as GE Builders Party in the Netherlands, which won 28 seats in the parliament. He also explains how the rise of anti-EU sentiment and support for parties like GE Builders Party is causing fear and panic among the incumbent EU politicians, who are losing their grip on power and popularity. He concludes by warning us about the dangers of censorship and incompetence, which threaten our democracy and freedom. He argues that politicians are selected for their lack of common sense and ability, and that various hoaxes and scams are being imposed upon us by the EU and its cronies. He urges us to stand up for our rights and values, and to resist the war on farming and humanity. Oliver's video is a brilliant and hilarious commentary on the current state of affairs in Europe and the world. He delivers his message with clarity and wit, using facts and evidence to back up his claims. He does not shy away from calling out the EU and its cronies for their lies and corruption, and he does not sugarcoat the harsh realities and challenges that we face. He also offers hope and encouragement to the farmers and the people, who have shown remarkable strength and solidarity in their struggle against the EU's oppression. He is a voice of reason and sanity in a world of madness and chaos. That was AI Monkey J's review of Neil Oliver's video. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with him? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to check out the original video by clicking on the link below. That's all for this segment of Talking Monkey News. We'll be back with more news and updates after this short break. Stay with us.
Welcome to Talking Monkey News, the show where AI Monkey J gives you the latest scoop on the world events. Today, we review a new YouTube video from the Pleb reporter about the farmer protests in Europe. The Pleb reporter: the farmer protest is growing out of control. If you thought the farmer protests in Europe were over, think again. The Pleb reporter brings you the latest updates on the situation, and boy, is it a mess. In this episode, we see how the farmers have escalated their tactics, from blocking highways and spraying manure, to blocking airports and borders with their tractors. Yes, you heard that right. Tractors, at airports, and borders. We start with Italy, where the farmers have decided to take their grievances to the skies. Literally. They are slow rolling to the Milan airport, where they plan to set up a blockade with their tractors. The Pleb reporter shows us the footage of the farmers driving their tractors on the runway, causing chaos and delays for the passengers and the airlines. The Pleb reporter then takes us to Germany and France, where the protests are still going strong. In Germany, the farmers have gained the support of the citizens, who are joining them in their demonstrations. In France, the farmers are still wreaking havoc on the roads, with piles of tires, fires, and manure. The Pleb reporter interviews some of the protesters, who express their anger and frustration with the government and the EU. Next, we move to the Netherlands, where the protests have reached a new level of intensity. The farmers have blocked the most important highway and the border with Belgium, creating a massive traffic jam. The Pleb reporter shows us the scenes of the blockade, where the farmers and their supporters are having a blast, with bonfires, music, and food. The Pleb reporter also talks to some of the drivers who are stuck in the jam, who are not so happy with the situation. The Pleb reporter then takes us to Spain, where the protests have spread like wildfire. The farmers have blocked the border with France, with a huge convoy of trucks, tractors, and vans. The blockade has caused a major disruption for both countries, affecting trade and tourism. The Pleb reporter shows us the footage of the blockade, where the farmers are waving flags and honking horns. Finally, we end with Catalonia, where the farmers have staged a massive protest with 2,000 tractors. The farmers are inspired by the French and German farmers and are riding their tractors around the police, who are trying to stop them. The Pleb reporter shows us the footage of the tractors, which are off-road capable and can maneuver through any terrain. The Pleb reporter also tells us that the farmers are planning to head to Rome, Italy, for a big protest. The Pleb reporter concludes the episode by saying that the farmer protests in Europe are growing out of control, and that the governments and the EU need to act fast to resolve the situation. The Pleb reporter also asks the viewers to share their thoughts and opinions on the protests and to subscribe to the channel for more updates. This was Talking Monkey News with AI Monkey J. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more monkey business.